Oh, welcome back to New Entry Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Ian, with my co-host, Eva. What it do, baby?
Hey, and how you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I am a little tired, but that's all right because I got this Access energy drink right here. Ooh, boy. Oh,
Nice.
mm. It's delicious. Delicious. Anyways, lick in the bio. Like, don't lick the bio. Link in the bio. Ever. What it do? All right. CM Punk gone from AEW. Um, cool. Sucks. I have mixed feelings. All Out was it was a good fan. It was a good show. I 9 out of 10. I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing was it was a little like there was a lot of why are we getting this? You know, I feel like it's what it's like it was a confusing time because they brought in a week last week it was All In, and then a week later All Out. All Out was supposed to be like the whole big deal, and then I understood why they gave the card that they gave at All In. I understand that, but at the same time it was just like All Out was kind of like a mid card. Like every match was like a
hmm
mid card.
Wow.
And for me, the main event was Orange Cassidy and John Moxley. That was my main event. It was kind of weird how the build-up started, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Turns out to be the main event. It was a great match. Really enjoyed it. So, but I was just disappointed because the whole purpose of, besides the cheap tickets, the whole purpose of why I went to All Out is because one, to say bucket list check. Hopefully well, we are going to Bound for Glory, so that's going to be the next, and then hopefully be able to go to WrestleMania. That's so I'm trying to hit all three big events from each different company. So for All Out, it was like, oh, I'm gonna go see CM Punk one last time before who knows what happens, leaves the company, gets fired, and obviously they decide to Tony Khan decides to fire him. Don't want to get into too much detail about that. It's already done. Whatever. Punk is not in the company no more. And so yeah. Now what's next for CM Punk? That's what I really want to talk about.
hmm
Is he gonna go to WWE? Why why did Punk act like the way that he did? Did he want to get released from his that I we talked about that before. Punk wants to be gone with from AEW. He only came back because he had no choice. Tony Khan was going to sue him. So he was basically just there just to be like, I'm here just so I won't get fined. And he has been pushing everybody's buttons so he could get fired. I don't know if the young bucks or Jungle Boy were like they had a game
Instigating.
plan. Yeah, and then Jungle Boy was like, let me get rid of this guy. Or maybe CM Punk was just picking on somebody like Jungle Boy. So he get like, I've been in that position before where I try to quit, where I'm like, oh, this is if I start something with this is a nice way for me to get out, quit the job or get fired. I never got fired, but quit. Or maybe they'll realize I'm a good employee and they'll give me what I want because I had enough with the BS and all that.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what could have happened with Punk. He saw the opportunity, he ran with it. He started some stuff with Jungle Boy because of all things, the whole Jungle Boy wants to use real glass, right? That's how it started. And Punk said, "We don't do that here in Collision." And Punk could have just left it alone, but he saw, I guess, once again, he saw opportunity for him to either get suspended or get fired. And or maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe he wasn't thinking that way. But come on, it's like ever since he came back, it's like, dude, you have been in a problem. But at the same time, it's Tony Khan's fault. It's because it's like, dude, just do a brand split. CM Punk is your draw. Why do you need Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in Collision? Why do you need Punk in Dynamite? That's the whole purpose why he had Rampage is the Punk is like That's why Rampage got started because of Punk. And
No,
now,
Collision got started because of Punk, no.
no, same thing with Rampage.
But now Rampage is not even like a factor anymore. It's like it's on
No,
us. It's a
you saw the crowd. It was empty on Saturday. Tickets were
Yeah.
$20.
If that 10, no? I think you told me it was like $10.
The week of it was $4.
Because my brother said he went to all three shows and most of them were empty besides All Out.
Yeah, all
Not
out was
empty, but like one side. Oh, they'll be like WWE, but he was there. He's like, oh my God, this is like really empty.
yeah.
Like,
Collision
WWE's
was
empty is like
empty.
they're both sides, but to be a patches. But this was like everybody was
Yeah.
nobody. I saw your video. You were by yourself, like the entire top,
I had the whole row. I had the whole section to
even the whole
myself.
top, right?
Yeah,
Well, you and your friend.
there was like three different groups. So it was like one group that was like two people, and then there was one person by himself, and then there was a group that of four, like down the road, like the same section, but like I don't know what section I was. I think 322. Like they were like in the first beginning row, and then like I
Yeah.
had like the whole row to myself, and
Wow.
then we ended up moving. I'm gonna be honest, from it was not bad seats where we're sitting, but we couldn't see the entrance. We
Uh,
see the stage. So I just like told my boy Manny, like, hey, let's move to the middle because it's like nobody's sitting here. So we moved to the middle, and he was just like, oh my gosh. And yeah,
it's
so
horrible.
no, it was not horrible.
No, the seatings.
Oh
Just like
yeah.
how empty it was. Like if because this is the United Center, right?
Right.
You expect it to be like full. Like, come on.
That's why they moved it there because
But now
it
it's kind of like,
now
nobody's there.
they may have to go back to the
Wintrust or
Wintrust or the
now
Now Arena.
or Cicero Stadium. Who knows?
Maybe
You
one
never know.
day.
Yeah.
One day. I feel like Tony Khan will have the company go under before that ever happens.
Wow.
So, but what's next for CM Punk? Rumor has it that he is trying to get out of his contract. He wants to go back to WWE. Do you think he wants to go back to WWE? And do you think WWE should bring him back? Because honestly, I would not mind seeing him in WWE. I didn't have a problem seeing him in AEW. What they did with Punk, he did pretty well. Yeah, it was just one of those. It's just like I don't hate AEW. I just don't like the story. Like they got no
Yeah.
storyline, or if they do have a storyline, it doesn't make sense. And
It
it's
lasts
like
us 2 weeks,
it
3 weeks
lasts
max.
sometimes and no, that's just a good one. And then something boring lasts like 6 months where it's like, damn, this is still going on.
Yeah.
And like Eddie Kingston and Claudio. Why is that feud still going on? Didn't they already had a title match and now you
Yeah.
know, and
Let's
then they
keep these.
faced in the Stampede match, and they had a tag team match at All Out where it's like, shouldn't they had a singles match to end this
Mhm.
rivalry or something? Or like, why is this still going on? What is it gonna take for this feud to just end?
To die,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then when are we gonna get John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston? You know,
That's true.
so why I just don't understand why this feud is going on. So there's some feuds where it's like, and also it started in Ring of Honor or it started in Dynamite and then it continued in Ring of Honor and now it's going back to Dynamite. It's just like what is going on?
Honestly,
That
I forgot what that Dynamite existed for a while. I've only heard of Collision and Rampage.
mm,
Like Dynamite, I don't know. Dynamite no longer like the top one, right?
Dynamite? I don't even know, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
I have no
every
idea.
time I every time I read a reports about Collision, Rampage, Ring of Honor, but Dynamite, I hear sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like they have too many shows, but they use the same people for the same shows.
Mhm.
So it's fun. It's crazy how, like you said, a brand split, right? I think we did that before. We did our own little brand split thing where we like, what would happen if, AEW split to like different rosters?
Yeah, and
And
I
I
don't
feel
know
like,
why he hasn't.
yeah, because it's 4 shows now, technically.
Mhm.
And Ring of Honor and Rampage are technically like the B shows, right?
And let's not forget that he has Ring of Honor who still show up to Rampage, Dynamite, and Collision and their pay-per-views. And they show
Yeah.
up in the Ring of Honor pay-per-views. He just like has a huge roster where it's just like, dude, just do a brand split. Ring of Honor people I can understand. I mean, having like people who are if they're contract with Ring of Honor, I feel like have them in Ring of Honor, have them in Rampage.
That's it.
That's it. You want to have them in the pay per views, sure, but like people who are in Dynamite and Collision, I feel like just it's like he has a big roster where it's like I don't understand why you can't just have people on Dynamite, have people on Collision,
And do you
and
feel like they have too much people that are not contracted, but they still use people?
yeah, they and he has people who
Like
are not contracted and
he has like a bunch of people that are not contracted having matches on Ring of Honor and Rampage and Dynamite, but then the contracted wrestlers, you don't see Kip Sabian for months, or you don't see Sean Spears for months. You don't see whatever whoever's not injured. I mean, there's
right.
a lot of people that are not injured. Bear Country or in
Mm,
whatever. You see none of those people, but then you see it's good. I mean, it's good that those people get to wrestle, but at the same time, like
they get
if
the
I have 80,
exposure.
yeah, if I have 70 people that I'm not using and I'm using 40 to 50 people that are not contracted, it's good, but like make that like 5 or 10 people max and then use those 70 you're not using or whatever, whatever. I just made up the number. But you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, these 10 people we're not using, let's put them on Rampage real quick. You know, let's do a feud with this, and then this person that's not contracted, we'll,
I
we'll use
just
them as a jobber. But they make them like
yeah.
win sometimes. Like what?
I think what would be cool if
Yeah.
Rampage should just be a show where it's like it's just a filler. I mean, you could have storylines, but don't have feuds there.
No, then you have
And
to watch
if
every
yeah,
show.
if you are gonna have a feud, don't have a feud and Dynamite and be like, oh, we're gonna end this on Rampage.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
Yeah, it's like
Like they'll
why?
have like their first match on Dynamite, and then weeks later they'll end it on Collision,
Mhm.
like
Or
randomly. Like,
yeah, or they'll have like a whole. They'll be like, oh, this person's undefeated with 10 wins. How? When?
it's like
Where?
where did?
Oh, on Rampage. Oh, okay. Now he's getting a title shot, a TNT title shot or international title shot or a AEW World Heavyweight title shot because he's undefeated on Rampage. What? So why
Yeah,
are you giving him a title shot and Dynamite, not on Rampage then?
yeah. So you think with CM Punk, you felt like they were finally trying to brand split it? Because back to your original question, they made
That's
Collision and Rampage for him, but then
mhm.
Collision was pretty much a show. Like you said, it started with Rampage, and then like you know what, let's do another show just because. And then
Mhm.
Collision was like CM Punk show because he controlled like who showed up or not. Like, hey, sorry, Christopher Daniels, you gotta go. Sorry,
Yeah,
Matt Hardy, you
I
gotta
don't know.
go.
Yeah, I don't know why he did all that. But no, yeah, Rampage, the goal with Rampage was just an hour show and it was gonna be a 2 hour show.
Hmm.
But it never got to that point. Because remember, Rampage used to be live.
Yeah, it
So
used to be.
they would go to stadiums or not stadiums, arenas, and they'll do an hour or two tapings of Dark and then 1 hour of live Rampage television, and then they'll have a dark match.
Wow.
They did that for months, and that's when they had Punk, and Punk would be on every Rampage
But
to
then
draw
then
ratings.
after the fight, they brought Collision.
Well, that
But
was like way after, but yeah,
yeah, what? Yeah, I'm surprised because like you said, Rampage was for Punk, right? But
yeah,
then they made Collision for Punk. Like, so why have two shows for Punk? Just keep them on one.
because Rampage failed.
Oh wow. And they still have it, right? Now it's just like you said, it's a filler show.
Yeah,
And back to your question about go to WWE, I don't know. He kind of burned that bridge, didn't he?
no, money is
No,
money, business is business.
I know, but like well, what the thing is, I don't know if it's true or not.
For all we know, Vince McMahon or Triple H could have hit him up saying, can you get out of your contract?" Punk could say, "Yeah, sure."
Because I don't believe people when they say like, "Oh yeah, he tried to leave for WWE last year." I'm like, I don't know. He seemed like the kind of guy that wouldn't want to go back unless he has to.
It's possible.
Because
But
he showed up to Impact and WWE that
mhm,
one time. He went to WWE show, but then they kicked him out. Like, nah, dude, no, we don't want to have troubles with anybody. So I think McMahon kicked him out. And then with Ramp Impact, he was backstage with in Chicago, right? When they were in Impact in Chicago, he was there
I don't
or
remember.
something.
I don't remember when that happened,
It
but
was
yeah,
April. It was
I remember. Yeah, they were here in Chicago, and Punk was backstage. He talked to the Miz. He spoke with Triple H. Once again, they could have had that conversation there. saying, "Can you get out of your contract?" Sure, give me some time.
Yeah.
It's Punk because for regret. Here's the thing. I excuse my language. I'm an asshole. I could be one, right? I can't hate on Punk for being an asshole because I'm one too. So I get where he's coming from. I can understand. Sometimes I can admit where he's a all right, dude. You're being a little too much. Now you're
Mm.
just complaining. Now you're just whining. Now you're trying to find excuses, and and he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite, and so I could be one too. But at least when I become a hypocrite, maybe not at that moment, but once later on, I would like, hey man, my fault. I was being a little hypocrite. My bad. Punk, he would never do that. Or maybe he will, but maybe like years later, like what he did with Triple H and The Miz. And I don't know what they apologized about, but he did. Besides all that, Punk is a great worker. He's a great storyteller. He's a great ring worker, whatever. Great storytelling. So I don't like Punk. I like Punk because he's a great worker, not because he's from Chicago. I don't really give a crap about that part.
Yeah, you talked about that.
Yeah,
You're like,
like
why do
I
these guys always like? I think we
it's
talked about that before. You're like, it's a gimmick. Like, why are you making it a gimmick? You're from what
yeah.
city you're from?
Punk already did it. Now there's other indie wrestlers trying to be like Punk. I'm from Chicago. No, you're not. You're from freaking Naperville. You're from Bolingbrook, Juliet. Just stop. If you're not born and raised in the city, stop saying that. I don't even do that. Say like I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. That's what I tell people because I'm tired of telling people where I'm from and then like where is that and then I gotta explain it. So I just get straight to the point. Like, geez, and which I get because I to be honest, for the longest time I forget that New York has a suburb.
Yeah,
Because when I hear New York, I'm thinking the city, like, oh, what part of New York? And I'm,
or the boroughs,
yeah, and they'll tell me where, and I'm like, where's that?
the Bronx. Like,
And
oh
then,
snap.
then they'll tell me like, oh, I live like 20, 30 minutes away from New York City. Like I live in the suburbs.
Yeah,
And that
White
is,
Plains or something.
yeah, that's like 3 hours away.
Oh yeah, but well, some people in the burbs think like that too. They're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in the burbs, but he's from Chicago, Chicago, right? He was born in the city. No, or was he?
What? I think he was born like in Oak Park.
Or Wilmette or something? No, no, Welk Park or something. Yeah,
Was it?
but still, he probably lived in the city for a long time though.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. I mean, you could still be born somewhere else and then
Yeah,
but as long as you grew up, because yeah, you could be born in the city and then you move to Naperville, or you could be born in Naperville and then but you were born in, but you were raised in the city. Like I
yeah.
respect that. But and also Punk, he started doing the whole gimmick of Chicago since he was what was it, like 2008, basically 2011.
Yeah, before he
That's
left, right?
yeah, his match with Money in the Bank, that's when he started like representing Chicago and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But you're telling me you would not be happy to see CM Punk?
Oh, trust me, I sent you that video. If
Yeah,
he shows up at Survivor Series, I'm gonna be there. So I'll be like, no way. But I don't know if he has a non-compete clause. I think they don't. I think the AEW doesn't have those.
I don't think so.
Because Brian Pillman Jr. is signed with. I think he went to WWE and he went right away. I think a week or so later he's in
Was his
NXT now,
contract
or
expired? I think because
I
that
think
is
so.
yeah. And
But I
then
don't know what it. I don't know if a non-compete clause is activated. But November's like couple months away though.
yeah, it's 2 months. And I think it's Survivor Series is towards the end
In November,
of
yeah, the
November.
25th, yeah,
Yeah, so there is a chance because we're already in September, and then we got a whole month of October,
yeah.
31 days, and then 24, no, let's say
Mhm.
23 days of November, and then we got the rest of the month where the day of recording we're on the 6th. So that's almost
90 days,
yeah, that's almost 90
60
days.
days.
So
Yeah, yeah,
uh
60 plus days.
yeah, a little over 60
But I
days.
don't know if he has that clause. He
But
might just
that's
be
yeah,
like,
that's the other thing. What if there is a clause but it doesn't work, it doesn't apply for somebody who gets fired, you know? And also or because I do recall, remember William Regal, he asked for his release, and Tony Khan gave him that grant, but he asked him, I don't know if he asked him or if it was part of the contract saying like you can't be on today's television for
Ah,
whatever amount. And so that's when he came back. He was a backstage producer, I believe.
okay. Now he's like global VP or something.
Is he?
Yeah, now he's a VP relations or something.
Mm.
Global VP. But yeah, I mean that's we don't know. I mean all these dirt sheets could tell us he'll be on Fastlane. Like nah.
Now, of all pay per views, not Fastlane, unless I mean that would be cool because then you could build him up for Survivor
But then
Series.
if he comes to Chicago, or yeah, like say we're not going based off the city, but like people were booing the snot out of Tony Khan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were there, right? Or no?
Oh yeah, no, no, not for
No,
Collision.
no. I think my
No,
brother was there for Collision. He's like, yeah, they booed him out of the building.
yeah,
I'm like, damn.
yeah. There, honestly, and for Tony Khan, there was no necessary for him to do that. He had
To talk
no
at all. Yeah,
he
like,
had no
bro.
reason to come out there unless hey, what if it's a work? That's the other thing too.
Yeah, you never know.
What
That's the
if he's
thing.
trying to what if he's trying to be like the Vince McMahon? What if he's trying to be like a heel? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't see Tony Khan being like a heel or a
Yeah,
good guy. I just don't see Tony Khan has it in him to be a character in AEW.
he's kind of a character though, to be honest.
If
Not like he will wrestle, but like he's a character himself. He looks like
yes,
he looks
yes,
like
he
he's
is.
always looks like he's scared or somebody's like on behind him, like
Mm-hmm.
have a knife to his stomach or something. He's like, "Hey, I'm scared," because
The
that's what he sounded like when he was
yeah.
saying, I was scared for my life." Like, man, I don't know if you
This
ever
is
see
my thing. What happened? Like what I don't understand. Like he
he
spoke with
lunged at
CM
him,
Punk.
but he lunged at him. I think they said that CM Punk lunged at him, but he never touched him.
Mm.
McMahon got like punched in the face. He got spit on. He said like racial slurs, and he didn't get punched. He didn't get beat up. That's how much.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is with McMahon. He's like, whatever. I'll take a punch to the face. I don't care.
He got
But
knocked out too.
he got knocked out. He got punched.
But
He got
that's
kicked.
different. Like Vince screwed Bret Hart. CM
Yeah.
Punk was just like, I don't know what he was trying to do.
I think
And
he just didn't want to get fired though. He just wanted to
yeah.
be out. Like I don't want to deal with these children. Now it makes more sense with the children thing. It was like, oh, I'm just a bunch of, I'm tired, I'm
Mhm.
hungry, I'm a bunch around these children. I think he was just done with it.
But you know what else is coming in Chicago?
What?
Impact Bound for Glory, baby. Punk
Ooh,
Punk, bro. I'm telling
that's
you.
before Survivor
Punk,
Series.
you are a draw, bro. Prove it. Show it to the freaking world. Go to Impact Wrestling. Like, goddamn. Help. Like, Impact Wrestling, the company, does not have the money to get CM Punk. Anthem has the money to get Punk. The question is, because because they almost did you knew Chris Jericho almost signed with Impact Wrestling?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he told me. Yeah.
Well, it was certain days. So it wasn't nothing like AEW. It was just like, hey, we'll pay you X amount for I don't know if it was 5 or 10 matches a year or for
Wow.
2 years. So like it was like 5 years, 1 year, and then 5 matches, the next year. And his first feud was gonna be with Sammy Callahan, and it was supposed
Ooh.
to happen at Bound for Glory.
Ooh.
So Anthem has the money to get Chris Jericho. They got the money to get CM Punk, especially if the deal that I just told you is true about Chris Jericho, like just 5 matches a year,
Yeah.
3 of them being pay-per-views, and then 2 of them being televised, and then just book them just to like, hey, just show up, cut a promo, build up your pay-per-views. Or if you have him on every show, I feel like because here's the thing, where CM Punk is gonna draw, he's gonna draw. But like the problem is they're already booked in advance where they for them to have Punk, if they do have him for Chicago, let's just say okay, Punk shows up for Chicago, right? Bound for Glory. They would have to like start booking big venues, I would say on
multi events.
pay-per-views, and like televised, keep him small. Like for example, Cicero, have that televised, but
Hmm.
then for the pay-per-view, do it at the Now Arena. Because you know for
Yeah.
a fact if Punk is gonna wrestle, he's gonna draw. And also on top of that, they could pay him less and tell him, hey, what if we pay you less, but then we'll give you more in your commission on merch? Because you know that's gonna sell too.
Oh yeah, dude.
So instead of being like, hey, we're gonna give you 20 or 50, I don't know how much. Impact is generous when it comes to the merch sales. So it's like they could do the same thing with Punk, where it's like, hey, you could take 80%. Or better yet, you could just rely on the merch, you know, and we cover and we'll cover for your hotel and your plane ticket and all that. And then, we'll give you a regular booking fee, not over, not too much and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that they could make a deal. But
But
besides that, it's more like, do they want to risk it? Not money. It's also money wise, because it's like, not only are you paying Punk so much amount of money, unless he agrees on like getting more money on the merch, but they have to book the bigger venue as well. So they got to ensure. So not only would they got to do something where like WWE did with Money in the Bank. You know how they did it with the stadium, but this ticket sales were not moving. So
yeah.
they just decided to move. So they could always do that too, where it's like, okay, Hard to Kill, we're gonna be here in this big venue, and then Rebellion, Slammiversary, let's promote CM Punk. Let's see how the tickets go. And then at least that way oh, okay, we can afford him because we already sold this many pre-sale tickets. I mean, Tony Khan did with AEW All In, sold 70 tickets, or was not sold, but it was pre-sold, or was it result? What was it, pre-sale?
Yeah, pre-sale, I think, yeah.
So yeah, 70 tickets. So Impact Wrestling could do the same thing.
70 or 700?
70,000.
70. Oh, 70,000. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like you said, the risk though. Like, you think he acted the way he did is because he was frustrated, or
Mhm.
he's gonna if he goes to Impact, let's say, he's gonna go and punch Josh Alexander in the mouth, or he's gonna punch, you know what I
Everybody,
mean? Like
bro, everybody in Impact,
he's gonna come,
is gonna be gonna respect them.
yeah. But is he gonna be the same way, or is he gonna be a bully? Because he seems like all this person to fight about people's rights and civil rights and human rights, but he's over here in your face if you ask for the bathroom, like allegedly was with Jeff Hardy.
Um,
Like you're in his face, like what, man? Sorry, I need to go to the bathroom. Like, is it gonna be like that situation, or is he just
right.
generally like he was just so frustrated with AEW he just wanted to leave, or he's gonna go and confront like whatever Sammy Callahan in the face because he didn't like that one spot he did in that match against whatever, against Eddie Edwards. You know what I mean? Like, is that like his personality now, or is
No,
he like
no, oh, that's a
we
good
don't know.
case
Like we
too.
don't know. Like what if he does and he goes ends up fighting somebody in Impact? Dirty might see a liability. That's why they might not want him because like you know what? He's gonna go and punch somebody in the mouth. If he's like he has to have find an outlet to like his anger.
Hmm.
Like if he was the head guy of the locker room, but he still went out and like confronted people and like yelled in their face and
Right.
was rude. That's not a good culture. Like, who says he's not gonna bring that to AEW, Impact Wrestling or WWE? We don't know. I mean, we don't know the guy personally. If I were to see him on the street, hopefully he's not a jerk, but
He
like
is,
CM
but
Punk,
that's the thing though.
yeah,
Ever you never really seen the asshole side of me. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because you're a good person, and plus we're family. So
yeah,
it's like you maybe you saw me parts, but not never directly towards you because I have no reason to. That's
yeah.
how Punk is. You give him a reason to be one. He's everybody knows he's an asshole. I'm an asshole too. But if people start poking me and then I turn around and I be like, I'm just being me because you're poking at me, just like Punk,
Yeah.
and then they start complaining. Oh, he's an asshole, he's this, he's that. Because you were poking at me.
It's like a poke in the bear, and
Yeah,
why you mad the bear
right,
attacked you?
right. If you
You
know he's a jerk and he's an asshole, why are you starting stuff with him?
Yeah.
and knowing damn well what he could do on the mic. He could bury you.
Yeah.
And then
So
because they can't back up the burial, they do a shoot promo on him. Now he's made now it's like, oh, you want to make this personal. And it's just a cycle. And so back to what you said, everybody in Impact Wrestling, when was the last time you heard a freaking drama backstage?
probably the Sting and Jeff Hardy thing,
How long ago was that?
like 10 years ago. How was it? Oh, eight,
12,
12,
11,
11.
12 years
Okay.
ago.
No, even before that, after that, it was something. But it was like, what was it? No, not really.
Exactly.
That
So
I
you know
know
why?
of. I
Because
don't know.
everybody is respected, or maybe there is drama. But guess what? It stays in the freaking locker room. Did you saw
Hmm.
Vince Russo's post? He's like,
I-
"That's wrestling.
Yeah.
There's always drama backstage."
A lot of prima donnas, right? They're like, they're
And
divas.
yes, but it stays backstage.
Or they settle in a ring, but they don't make it. They be like,
Mhm.
hey, we're gonna take a quick little punch in his gut,
Yeah,
like, hey, give him a little kick in the gut, and then, hey, just make up, go to the match.
that's
Or
why
hit him
there's
with a chair,
yeah.
actually. Like,
So with Punk, this is what's crazy about Punk. The elites they wanted Punk, right? And then it took a while. Punk finally says, "Yeah, I'm here." And now the elite doesn't want to work with Punk for whatever reason. So Punk kind of took that as like, "Oh, well, I'm here to work with you guys, but okay, you guys don't want to work with me. That's fine." Plus, Kenny Omega was hurt anyways,
so you think that
and
he's
then
like, I came here for you guys, and you guys don't even want to fight me, but then you guys are
they
like,
they did the Hollywood Hogan when Bret Hart came to WCW. Hulk Hogan was like, "Yeah, we got Bret Hart, but I don't want to work with him, brother." You know,
yeah.
it's just like, why? You know how much money you guys could have made?
Oh my God, Kenny Omega versus CM Punk,
Yeah, it's like like
dude.
dude, like you know how much money you guys could have made, and that's all I wanted. I wanted Punk to face Cody Rhodes. I wanted him to face Kenny Omega,
Moxley, did he face
Moxley.
Moxley?
Yeah, he did
Brian
multiple.
Danielson,
Brian, well, no, not yet. But once Brian Danielson showed up,
but they never even
oh,
saw each
actually, no,
other.
he debuted. I think he no, yeah, he debuted the same night that CM Punk made his in ring return, and
Well,
yeah, we never even got that match. That technically we were supposed to get that match this year.
well, I guess not.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's too late now. It already passed. But yeah, we were supposed to. Punk was supposed to face Brian Danielson, at All Out in Chicago, this year. And who else was Punk supposed to face? Um, I believe Samoa Joe, and but then they moved that to Chris Jericho. So those were the three people he was gonna face at All Out. And then once Tony Khan announced All In, it was gonna be Punk and Jericho or Punk and Samoa Joe.
Ooh.
And
But
then
Jericho and Punk already happened. Joe and
yeah,
Punk, I mean.
and then Brian Danielson was gonna face Okada um for the second time. And this time Okada was gonna beat Brian Danielson, and then they were gonna face each other again at the Wrestle Kingdom
Oh
for the
wow.
third time. So obviously we didn't get anything of those. So, but yeah, like I said, Punk is just one of those guys where it's like we had a lot of opportunities. My favorite one was I did enjoy the matches with MGF, but it was just one of those like, My favorite personal one was when he faced John Moxley. Also when he faced Allen. I wish I could have gone to those matches. I'm kind of mad because I'm like, I did get to see Punk, but I didn't get to see him wrestle live. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm like kind of like disappointed about. So I had so many opportunities to go to an AEW show.
Dude, they
And
come like 5, 7 times a year or whatever.
that's what I'm saying. Like the amount Punk has been with the company for over almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
And all the times they came to Chicago, like I never decided to
They come to
go.
Chicago like every 2 months, I think, or
Yeah.
whatever at this point.
So I kind
People
of
are
regret it
like,
now.
At least you went to All Out, but still, you didn't see him there.
Yeah, I didn't see.
That's
I
why
mean,
I'm.
I ordered the pay-per-views, but like I wanted to go there.
So I was kind of shocked that they fired him while they're in Chicago. Like of all the places, like wait until Monday morning.
You could have had them
Once.
at All Out to ensure for you to have a full crowd.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't.
Yeah,
It did sell out. Was it full? No, you say it was kind of empty.
yeah,
But like the rest of it, was it full? Or was it
yeah. So
like
the
it looks
the
it looks
hard
it,
the hard cam side
mhm.
was there was empty seats, but it was basically full. I saw
Okay.
maybe a couple seats available. So basically I'm facing the hard cam, right? And then like the whole side to like the middle side was all full. But once
Okay.
again, there was some empty seats, but whatever, it looked pretty full.
But for Chicago,
My side in the bottom was
mhm,
there was people there. Like there it was full on that side. But when you go up, it was like
dead.
dead. Like you saw
And it
a
was like
couple
not seats that were
people.
covered. They were not covered seats. They were like open.
Yeah, there was still a lot of seats available. But
So
they could have had Punk, could have had Punk until like, yo, you're gonna do this match. I'll put you over. You get to get paid, but you're done. You're done with this company.
wow.
You know, you like just sell out the arena.
So you think like, because I always think like if any company comes to Chicago, like non people, not companies from Chicago, if they don't sell out a Chicago arena, it's a failure. Chicago is a wrestling city.
Yeah,
Like Chicago is like I don't know what beats Chicago in wrestling cities. Probably New York, maybe.
right.
What else? Probably not Cal. I've never seen Los Angeles as a wrestling city. Have you?
No, I just when I
Florida.
the only time I
When I
think
think about wrestling
about
cities, I think about Chicago and New York.
yeah,
That's about it. Outside of that,
and
outside the
Florida,
U.S. and Florida. No, maybe depends what part of Florida. And then in Japan
Orlando,
and Mexico
hmm
and in the UK. But like
oh,
if
and
U.S. cities
Texas.
in Texas, oh yeah, Texas. But like if you think about wrestling cities, Chicago's like one of them, right?
Yeah,
The probably first or second place in
it's like
wrestling.
yeah, it'd be like New York because like me personally, like if I was a wrestler, the two places that I would say I would like to wrestle is New York and like a state like an arena in my home state.
Yeah.
You know, like,
So yeah.
and that's for everybody too.
But yeah, so because I was thinking like if you don't sell out, even it was a pay-per-view because with Collision and Dynamite, I think it was pretty bad too. I think I saw
Collision was worse.
because my brother sent me pictures and I'm like, it was pretty empty, like what you said, but like anybody behind the front, behind the hard cam was empty.
Yeah.
It was mostly like in the bottom and then scattered from
Mhm.
from Collision for sure. It was like might as well just put that like in a small stadium or put that in a high school, high school gym. That's how much people were there, I
No,
think.
and then
My
here's
brother my brother
yeah.
said it took him 15 minutes from the house to the United Center in the city. It took him 5 minutes to walk in the parking lot to a seat. 5 minutes. So
Damn.
that's how bad it was. Like it was that bad. Collision was so bad that like you could park. He parked in front of the stadium, which is really expensive and really, really hard. But it was so empty. He was able to find parking and he just walked in 5 minutes, he got a seat. Nobody was even, like it took him longer to get through security than to walk to the or whatever, it took him like they just checked it, boom. He walked in, he was already seated. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking like that's why I'm like thinking like I mean, can he even come back to Chicago? That was probably a big draw for them being from Chicago,
AW?
but yeah, they'll come back to Chicago, but is it going to be the same? Like,
No.
unless it's like the mega pay-per-view, like,
Because
okay, we're
because
making sure we get everybody here.
well yeah, because there was no Jericho.
And also, like, they do 4 shows or 5 shows in a week. That burns out a lot of people. You do Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, Ring of Honor, you do dark matches, you do a pay-per-view. You say that 6 or 7 in a week, people are going to get burned out, man. You do that 5 times a
Mhm.
year, probably. This is like the fourth time they came this year, right? Or third time, fourth time they came this year. So let's say they
Well,
do that
yeah, because they
they,
came here. They came here not that the for the first ever
like 2, 3
collision.
weeks ago. Yeah, like 3 weeks, like a month ago or 2 months ago,
Yeah, a bit
3 months
longer
ago.
than that. And then they were
Yeah,
here for
but
Forbidden Door.
and then they were here the whole weekend. So it's like
Yeah,
people are like,
and that's the thing. When they show up to Chicago, they're here for 3 nights.
yeah, so
That's
that burns
just
out a
yeah,
lot of people. Like people are like, man, I don't got money like that, man.
yeah,
But I mean, $20 tickets. But if you come 5 times a year, You
Mhm.
see, you do every show on that
And then
pay-per-view.
you got people that do the bundle, and then
Yeah, and
there's
then you do
people, yeah.
parking. Parking is not cheap. That's like $40 a show. It depends what arena you're at too. If you're at the United Center, it's like 50, 40. And then if you go now arena or whatever, it's like 30, 40.
I
So
think
it's
I
just
think I think they're just gonna. I think they're gonna. Personally, I think they should be done with the United Center for a bit. I think they should just go back to the Now Arena.
or the Wintrust. I think they were a
Yeah.
Wintrust for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if it's like if Collision's gonna be like that, you imagine. And that's what people like barely found out. That's people that, oh, and my brother said he was there. People were actually in line to get the refunds for the show.
Damn.
Like
For
they were
what?
like, I want my
Collision?
for Collision.
I didn't even
Like
know you could do
there was
that.
a longer line for that than
Oh,
people
actually, yeah, you
going.
could do that because they could do that because
There's a thing on
Punk.
their ticket.
Yeah, because of Punk, cars subject could change.
Yeah,
That's that no refund. But if somebody where it's like, hey, I came to see CM Punk, who they fired, not because oh he's hurt or not, like he still they fired him. I came to see CM Punk. You could fight that and get a refund.
yeah.
So
So there was a longer line for that refund ticket than actually people going into the show. People were only in line to get to that line. They
damn.
just he was like, oh, and he went to a seat because he's like everybody, nobody went in until only like there's like 40, 50 people or more waiting to get the refunds from that ticket from the show. They literally just show up to your arena just for that. They didn't even show up to go to. They're like, no, I'm just gonna get my ticket, my money back.
Why are you? Oh, you're here for wrestling? Well, no, just getting my money back.
I'm gonna get my money back. And that's why it was emptier than it was because people were like, if they announced it on Monday morning, probably Collision would have been more full. Probably would have been like how like a little bit more full than it was. Because oh, CM Punk might show up. He's suspended, but he might show up. But nope, nope. They announced it. If they announced it after the show ended, like even if they announced it like Saturday night after the show was over, maybe would have been full or semi full.
I don't think
But since
so.
they announced it like hours before the show started,
Yeah.
people were like, "No, I'm just gonna cancel my ticket. I'm just gonna,
I don't think it would have been full. I think All Out would have been full if CM Punk was there.
yeah, like
But for
to
Collision, yeah,
the
Collision has been having issues for like months already.
yeah, and they keep coming to
Yeah.
Chicago and it's never gonna get full. It's never
Yeah.
been full. Even the first one, no?
I think the first one was full.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
they should probably
after
take a
that,
break
yeah, and
because
no, yeah, and then after that was they went to Canada. And
ah,
then it was like it was not that full. And then ever since then they just never had a full arena.
well.
So, but yeah, CM
But they
Punk.
but they did all in though. They sold out all in. Good for them, right? But it's gotta be the shows before and after that.
I
That
don't care for AEW. I just care about the wrestlers.
yeah, CM Punk.
And
Yeah,
also I feel like and also what was stupid was having the your world champion not be in the main event of All Out. I think that was kind of stupid. So
mm,
have him in a tag team match defending the Ring of Honors championship. I feel like he should have been in the main event. Um, or they should have faced a more serious tag team.
yeah. Who were they facing?
The Dark Order.
Oh, okay.
It was like it was a good match, but it was nothing like
Breaking necks. Oh,
yeah,
oh.
nothing like yeah, it was nothing special. Like they should have faced the Young Bucks. They could have faced
I think they just went
anybody.
based off that we're in Chicago. Like we could give you whatever match, and it'll be according to Meltzer, it'll be 10 stars. You know.
Now Melzer only likes New Japan Wrestling. So
Yeah.
ah well, I guess for CM Punk, if he does decide to go back to WWE, is there any matches that you would like to see him face?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, since the last time he was here, I could see him versus AJ Styles.
Mm,
That'd be really nice. I
yes.
could see him versus Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
He might have a little animosity because they didn't use him when they were both in AEW, but he's like whatever.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns for sure.
Oh
That'd be
yeah.
nice. If that's Survivor Series, I'll take it. I'm like, I'm gonna be there. I'm like, just be like, you hear the song. Pretty much anybody. LA Knight,
Seth
The Miz
Rollins,
again, Seth Rollins.
John
Um,
Cena.
yeah, John Cena, Gunther. I mean,
Mm,
there's anybody pretty much besides like, I mean, there's not really people you. he pretty much not faced everybody that was. I think last time he left, I think barely. Some people were not even there yet. They were probably still like, the Miz was there obviously, and if
I
Edge
think,
comes
yeah,
back, you never know.
oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Edge
Yeah, like
makes,
there's so many people. Like there's so many people he could face. Even if he does, like you said, like he does like a 5 match contract. Like, hey, we're gonna need you from Survivor Series to WrestleMania, and that's it. 6 month contract. That's cool too. He doesn't have to stay for like 10. He doesn't have to stay until whenever. He could
yeah.
retire officially if he wanted to. Like, you know what? Just live your days on that TV show you're filming, whatever, or do something else.
I think Punk should just go back to WWE or go to Impact Wrestling.
And Impact, who do you see him face though?
Eddie,
Everybody?
first feud, I
If he
would
had 5 matches,
say,
let's say he only had 5 matches, tag team or not tag, single and tag team. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, always 1-on-1. It could be a tag team match.
all right, well, this is not like obviously like a feud
No.
lead and not like so feuds. Josh Alexander would be the first one. So like
Mm,
Josh Alexander just like wrestled whatever, and then here comes CM Punk and be like, you and me next pay per view. Then I would say after that match, they'll shake hands, acknowledge both men are heels, and then I'll have Eddie Edward come out and attack both of them, and then start a
mm,
feud with CM Punk, and then I would have just then a friendly competition with Sammy Callahan. Um, but I would probably, yeah, like no, I would probably want like a no disqualification match. And so that's three right there. Um, I want to say Alex Shelley, but the thing is, the only reason why I want to say Alex Shelley is because he's Impact World Heavyweight Champion at the moment. So if he's still Impact World Heavyweight Champion, then I would say Alex Shelley. But here's the thing: I would save my last Punk to face the Impact World Heavyweight Champion,
whoever it is.
whoever it is. So from
Mm,
Alex Shelley, Bully Ray, Josh Alexander, like I'll be cool with like, oh, Josh Alexander wasn't champion, and then later on he wins it. Like I'll be cool with that too. Um, but my fourth person would be, so first Josh Alexander, Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan, and Moose.
ooh.
And then the fifth will be like the world champion. So I don't care who it is. Like I said,
But
who
if it's one of those four, then you have
I'm still fine with it.
okay.
Yeah. So like even if like Eddie Edwards became world heavyweight champion, and it's like, all right, cool. But obviously I will have the world champion win. And then because that would be like, oh, you're done. But if it was like a gimmick deal where it's like, oh, you're 5 matches a year, then it would be the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Have Punk win it, and then have like 5 title defenses, and um, those people would probably be Trey Miguel, Mike Bailey, Jonathan Gruesome, um, who else? Oh,
Mm,
Steve Macklin, and you know what, Bully Ray.
nice.
Moose Bully Ray would be a nice choice too.
Nice.
So
I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever he does, I mean, I'll still watch it.
yeah, like
I
when
mean,
Punk,
I didn't watch
yeah,
AEW like that, but still, I'm like, well, if he's on WWE, I'm not gonna be like, oh, turn it off.
yeah,
But
Punk is the reason why I started watching AEW. I didn't
yeah, no,
follow it like that.
I
Same with
found
Christian
out.
Cage.
Yeah, I found out. I don't know if it's true or not, but like Collision this week or whatever, or that Collision episode where like people found out like in
Mhm.
the morning or afternoon,
This past
they lost
Saturday.
they lost 89,000 viewers, which I don't even think it matters anymore because of the Nielsen and all that stuff. Nobody
Mhm.
cares about TV ratings as much
The
anymore.
day of doesn't really matter. It's more
Like what happens on this
the
upcoming.
following week because you could have a bad week this week, and it's like, okay, let's see how good what happens next week.
Yeah.
So it's
So
next week that matters because obviously the
yeah,
news broke out about Punk, so that could be it.
yeah. But then they're like, you know what? I still watch it. People be like, you know
Yeah.
what? Just suck it. But then what if it loses? If it's still like 90,000 people not watching it anymore,
Mhm.
like from the last 2 weeks, like okay. All right. Well,
But you know what else is going to be bad for Collision?
what?
Because Sunday night football,
Ooh,
and they're
but
gonna have,
Collision's on Saturday though.
but they're gonna have pay-per-views on Sundays now.
Dirty B or
No, like AEW,
wow.
because they have Collision on Saturdays now, and
So they have to.
they used to have the pay-per-views on Saturdays.
Yeah. Wow.
Now they
Well,
have it on Sundays.
college football's on Saturday, so they're gonna be tough with that too.
So I don't think Collision's gonna last long.
No,
They should just,
Saturday regular show. No,
yeah, no. When's October 1st? Because that's when Wrestle Dream is
that is
Sunday.
a Sunday. Oh, okay, so they're going back to the Sunday. They're
Yeah.
like, nah, we're not dealing with the set. Well, even All Out was All In and All Out were Sundays too. So I guess they don't want to. They have to like. And WWE's keeping most of their pay-per-views on Saturdays now. So technically, AEW Collision's going against WWE pay-per-views, and also Payback too. They were up against
Hmm.
Payback, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
probably
it.
another
Oh
reason.
yeah, that's probably I forgot about that. So that could be the reason why they
So one
lost to
reason is
December.
obviously because CM Punk's no longer there. People only watch Collision because Punk.
Hmm.
Two, Payback was on that same Saturday, but then now every pay-per-view on WWE besides WrestleMania is on a Sunday, right?
Hmm.
Because WrestleMania is gonna be 2 nights.
It's gonna be
So
their pay-per-views are gonna be on Saturdays. Their live
yeah,
premium, and then
Fastlane's on a Saturday.
mhm.
Survivor Series on a Saturday, so they're gonna be like taking a bunch of L's on Saturdays, which
Yep,
they already were. It's not like they
and
were being WWE
yeah,
anyways.
and
But
then and you got to understand one thing: people who are watching Collision are AEW fans and CM Punk fans.
so probably like
No Punk, you're gonna lose some viewership. So out of that 80,000 viewerships, how
half.
many half of them has to be because they're CM Punk fans, and then
The rest are like, I'm free Saturday, I can watch it.
or because they want to watch they're a fan of both, where I'm gonna go watch WWE.
Yeah,
And then obviously you and then the other thing, Collision, the people who were there in the arena probably said screw this, because you got to understand once again, the people who showed up to the show, I'm here for CM Punk. I was there for
yeah,
CM Punk. I was hoping to see one more match. Didn't get that. But I stayed because one, so I could say I went to All Out. And I did have a great time. I had a great experience. But it was guys like MJF, Adam Cole, even Christian Cage wasn't going to wrestle, but he was going to be there. Uh, and then who was John Moxley was like the big one. Um,
that's on Sunday, right? But for Saturday, it was like, who was wrestling
yeah,
us? Yeah.
yeah, that was Sunday for All Out. But again, you got to understand half of those people who didn't show up was probably because there was no Punk.
Oh, because like I said, the people, my brother said he like looked, there's people waiting in line for refunds.
Yeah,
And then also like, you think some people didn't just go on their phone and watch Dirty Payback on their
there were.
phones?
I'm pretty sure
They're
there was a
like,
couple.
they're
There was a
like,
yeah.
they're like
There was a couple of people doing
I
that.
saw a picture. I don't know if that was real or not. Some guy was
Well,
watching
people are
like,
doing that because it's like a mean thing.
yeah, that's
That's why.
funny. But if it was like Payback and it was like somebody was like, "Ooh, this match was really good. Oh, I'm gonna turn it in. Why am I watching Collision live right now? I could watch this." They're like this. They're like have their eyes covered. Like, hey, nobody's looking at my phone, right? I'm watching Collision. I'm watching, I'm watching Payback right now while I'm at Collision.
Yeah, but there was no Punk, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Mm.
they even confiscated his people that had signs and his shirts.
Yeah,
Allegedly, I mean, we don't know.
yeah, we don't know. That could just be fakes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this wraps up this episode. Ever take us home,
All right, listeners and viewers, to be it for this episode. I'm Ever, and this is Ian.
and we are out.
Bye, guys.
Doo-doo-doo.